You're listening to Homeschool Unrefined. I'm Marin.
And I'm Angela. Let's encourage each other, laugh, and get real about homeschool. Welcome to the podcast where we keep homeschool simple, real, and fun. You've got episode 66, where Angela and her teen talk books and homeschool. Hello, everybody. We are so glad you're here today. So glad you're listening and that you come back every week to hear us and that you're a part of our community. We just love that so much. We have a special treat for you today. Marin her voice is not doing well. And so we tried to record, we were going to record for the past few days and it just hasn't worked out. So we decided to bring on my 13-year-old Georgia to our podcast. We've been wanting to do this for a long time. She's been real excited to be on. And we just thought this was a good opportunity since Marin can't talk. So we're super excited about that. We're going to talk about homeschooling from her perspective. We're going to share some recommendations for books and, playthings and audiobooks and podcasts. And I just know that my kids really like hearing other kids on podcasts, especially when they're talking about things that they're into right now. So we thought that would be good. So welcome, Georgia.
Hi.
We're so glad you're here. Before we have Georgia introduce herself, I just wanted to talk briefly about a giveaway that we have coming up this week on Instagram. We are going to be giving away the graphic novel version of A Wrinkle in Time in honor of the movie that came out.
Yeah.
So, Georgia, you devoured this graphic novel.
Yes, I did.
Yep.
It's a long one, but yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Well, you are a fan of A Wrinkle in Time in general.
Yes.
And then you're also a fan of graphic novels.
Yes.
So this is kind of like a marriage of both of those.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we just thought it would be fun to give that away. That's going to be on Instagram. We are going to announce it on Tuesday. So this podcast episode will air on Monday. We are going to announce it on Tuesday, the 27th of March. And then it will close on Friday, the 30th of March at noon. And
awesome.
So head over to Instagram if you want to get entered in on that giveaway. So, Georgia, for those who, I don't talk about you too much on this podcast.
Yeah.
I do a little bit. I reference you here and there, but I know that, I don't want to share any of your stories or anything. This is not necessarily about you, but I do reference you sometimes. So, Georgia, could you introduce yourself to everybody and just tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so my name is Georgia. I'm 13. I just turned 13 2 days ago. And I really like acting. It's like, I love to act. It's really fun.
Yep.
And dancing and singing goes along with that. And my favorite color is green. And we have a dog. And yep. I like to do coding and stuff. I like to do a lot of coding. And yeah.
Yep. And you're the oldest of 3.
Yes, I am.
Yep. And great. So I wanted to talk about how you feel about homeschooling in general, or what you think about it. So when we first brought up the subject of homeschool to you, I'm curious what you thought of it. And just for a little bit of context for everybody else, we have homeschooled officially since you were in 1st grade.
Yes.
But from 1st grade to 4th grade, we did a part-time school along with that. And so you were in school 3 days a week.
Yeah.
So then at about, I think it was it? Yeah, it was partway through 4th grade.
5th grade, right?
4th or 5th grade. Yeah.
Yeah.
We decided to homeschool full time. And so that's kind of what I'm referring to is how did you feel when we broached that subject with you? And what are your just general thoughts about homeschooling?
Well, when I first heard that we were going to be homeschooling, I was fully against it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was. Just because I didn't want to leave all my friends, and I liked what we were doing then. And
Okay.
it was, I don't know, I really liked it. and I didn't know that homeschooling was going to be a lot better because I really enjoy homeschooling now. That's really fun.
Okay.
But then I just was I didn't want to because I didn't want to leave all my friends.
Okay, that's funny because I do not remember that. I
I
remember
didn't
you
say
being
anything about it.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to make you feel bad.
Oh, that's nice. But I remember being so nervous to bring this up with you.
Really?
Yeah, I remember where we were, and I remember thinking, Georgia is just not going to go for this. And I brought it up to you, and you were like, you were so positive about it. You were like, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, I don't know. Maybe it was when we talked about it, like, earlier.
Initially? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, but like I do remember warming up to the idea and being like,
Yes.
okay, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
So.
And what do you said homeschooling's really fun. Why do you think it's really fun?
Because it's not as much of a structure.
Okay.
How we do it as in school, and sometimes I like that, sometimes I don't, but
Yep.
I like it because like I'm not sitting in a desk all day long, and
Yep.
it's nice to be able to move around, and like if I want to take a break from my siblings, I can go in my room and do my work there.
Yep.
Or and we get to go outside a lot, which is
Yep.
nice because I know now schools are very cutting down on time, or I know most kids my age do not have recess at all.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that we get to do that. And I really like it because I can work sometimes at my own speed, like
Yep.
what I like, sort of. But then I also have to do things that I don't like. But I think it's a good mix of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like homeschooling is really a good fit for your work style.
Yes,
Because
I agree.
I felt like when we were in school, you felt stressed out. Would that be right?
Yes, I was
And
very
accurate?
stressed out.
Yeah,
Very.
about like getting things done by a certain time or in a certain way or things like that.
Yeah, like they wanted everything to look perfect and to get it done right. You had to get everything done in 1 week, even if it was a really big project. And then
Yeah.
that was hard.
Yeah. And then there are always some downsides. So what kinds of things about homeschooling are hard for you or do you dislike?
Well, dislike and hard for me are the whole friend thing. I do have homeschool friends, and they're really good friends.
Yep.
But I don't see people every day my age, and that's
Yep.
hard because I have siblings who are younger than me,
Mhm.
and they're nice and everything, but sometimes I just want to hang out with people who are my age.
Yeah.
And that's probably the only downside because I
Okay.
like the rest of it.
Okay. Yeah. And I would say that has become more of an issue as you've gotten older.
I agree.
So when you were younger, even a year ago or 2 years ago, you were really content, being with the family and the
Yeah.
siblings. But as you've gotten older, you've really craved that time with friends your age.
Yes, exactly.
And I would say as a parent or as a homeschool parent, that is probably the most challenging thing for me right now.
Yeah.
Too, is not that you need it for socialization, because you do not, but it's because I know you want to be around friends and you crave that, and I want to be able to provide that for you. But every other homeschool family is kind of on their own schedule and doing their own things, and so it's very hard to coordinate getting together.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes we try to join classes or groups for teens, but you just never know who's going to be there or who you're going to click with.
Exactly.
And so you might sign up for something and there might be no kids your age or, no girls or whatever. And so you feel like, oh, that was kind of a bummer. So
Yeah.
that has been a challenge. It's something we're always working on.
Yeah.
And one good thing that we've had constant is you go to a church group on Wednesday nights.
Yes, that is that's the highlight of my week. It's always
Yeah.
really fun.
Right. And that's for 7 through 12-year-olds. So I think
12th graders.
7 through 12th graders. Sorry. And I think you feel good knowing that there's kids your age and older.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Georgia, if you could describe your perfect homeschool day, what would that look like for you?
Well, I would get to sleep in, not
Okay.
the whole day, not a long amount, but like a good amount, enough where I feel rested, but where I don't feel lazy. So like 8:30.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'd do all of my morning stuff and job, and the job wouldn't be too hard, but it'd still be a job.
Oh, okay. So a job is still in your perfect homeschool day. That's great.
Yeah,
love
because I
that.
have to, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure.
Okay.
I mean, if it's your perfect day.
Well, then
maybe
I
you
guess
wouldn't
no
have to-
job then.
Okay.
Then I do all of my stuff, and then I'd get to do like a science project or something, like something we don't do very often, but I like doing.
Okay.
And I do math, and I do CTC math, and I'd
Okay.
also do the math word problems because those are really fun.
Wow.
And then we would have lunch, and then we'd go to the science museum and stay there for a while because it's really fun. and then we'd go have dinner, and then I'd go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not know that you were going to say those things.
Really?
That's so interesting. No, you surprised me. I didn't know that you wanted to do that much math.
Yeah.
That's great. I know you like math, but I didn't know that would be part of your perfect day. And so
Yeah.
much of it. Yeah, that's
Well,
awesome.
it's not like a bunch of it, but just like I do the regular math, and then I also do the word problems.
Yeah.
Just to get school in.
Yeah. And then I know you love the Science Museum.
Yeah.
So that was a good one because
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about that.
I just
Yeah.
thought of that like 5 seconds ago.
Oh, awesome. Okay. So another couple things. So I asked on Instagram if anybody had any questions for you. And so that's where I'm getting some of my questions. And one thing that a couple people wanted to know is, how is your relationship with your siblings? Meaning, how do you like being with them all day long? Are there good and bad things about that? Or what do you think about that?
Well, with my siblings, I try to remember that at least I'm not an only child. And that they are nice. And yeah, but sometimes it does get hard because they can get very annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And they can, yeah. So I like having them there because sometimes I forget that they're younger than me, and then we just like play.
Yeah.
But most of the time I remember they're younger than me. I don't want to be doing this, but I still am going to because I'm nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You're a really good big sister.
Thanks.
Yeah. And I know what it's like. I was the oldest, so I know what it's like to be the oldest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's great like responsibility that comes along with that, but it is challenging sometimes to have younger siblings. So I get that.
Yes.
And then what about your parents? And I know I'm asking the question. So I'm just curious, is there anything that you think that your dad and I do that's a little bit unfair as a teenager now? Anything you wish we did differently?
Well, there are 2 big things that I can think of.
Okay.
Dad really wants us to wake up at like 7 o'clock or 7:30 at the latest. And I do not like that. I would like to sleep in a little bit longer, like I said, in my perfect homeschool day.
Yeah.
But I'd still like to not sleep in the whole day because then I just feel really lazy and
Yeah.
and I don't get started.
Yeah. Yeah, your dad is, I think I've said that before on the podcast. One of his values is getting up early. And
Like, if we don't get up early now, we're never going to get up early, and
Right.
we're not going to do good in life.
right. That's where he goes with that. And for me, I value getting up early, but I also value sleep. And I just
Yes.
think at this age, especially teenagers, it's so important that they get good sleep. And so he and I are always kind of butting heads about that a little bit, you know.
So it's usually somewhere in the middle.
Usually somewhere in the middle. Or some days we get up early and some days we sleep in.
Yeah,
So
depending on the day.
So anyway, is there anything else we do that's
Yes.
unfair?
The
Oh,
worst thing
Oh.
of all is that I still don't have my own phone. And that's very
Yeah.
annoying because everybody my age and a few years younger than me has their own phone.
Yep.
Even if I don't even have to have like cell service or anything. Just
You just
having
want a
one.
device.
Yes,
of
I
your
don't have
own.
my own like iPad, or all I have is my own one of those little iPods that all you can do is listen to stuff on there, which is nice. At least I have it. But like,
Yeah.
and I have a Kindle Paperwhite thing.
Yeah, you have an iPod Nano,
Yeah.
which they don't make anymore.
Yeah, they're too old.
I know. And then you have a Kindle Paperweight.
Yeah. I don't even have one of those like iPod Touches. That's
I know.
too phone like, I guess.
Well, so that everybody knows, to be fair, we do have 2 family iPads that everybody uses together.
Yes.
But you're right, one is not yours.
Both are
And
not
then
mine.
both are not yours. Yeah. And then we do have an old iPhone 4.
That barely works.
That-
it's on its last few days.
The 3 kids kind of share it. So like if you are going somewhere, like let's say you're going to babysit somewhere
Then I bring it.
and they don't have a home phone, then you bring that with you.
Yeah.
But it's really for everybody to share, and the reason is you text a lot of friends on that,
Yes.
and your siblings sometimes text people too.
Yes.
So you do have it's really important for me that you have ways of communicating with your friends, especially because you are homeschooling.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that you have that, but you're right, you don't have your own device yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
And everybody does. And I know we're not like everybody. But yeah.
Yeah, I know. I get it. I get that that's hard. Georgia, we thought it would be fun to have you give some recommendations to all of the other kids out there.
Yeah.
You said that you love to read, and you do. You've always really enjoyed reading. And so I was wondering if you could tell people what some of your favorite books are. And we can talk about your favorite books now, and maybe some when you were younger too, because I bet we have a lot of people who are younger than 13 who are listening. So maybe we'll start with some books that you liked when you were younger. What were some of your favorites?
Well, I remember really the 2 favorite series of books that I liked was the American Girl books and Boxcar Children. Those are my
Yes.
favorite from like 1st grade to 3rd or 4th grade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
or even longer.
Or longer even.
Yeah.
But like that's like when they were very
Yeah.
important.
But you read those Boxcar Children up until probably 5th grade or
Yes.
something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Those are good. Yep. What about besides those series, what other kind of books stand out to you?
I remember really always wanting to read about horses, like horse books.
Yep.
So like the only one I can really remember is Black Beauty,
Yep.
and I remember really liking that one.
Yep.
And then I also remember getting Secret Garden and reading through
yeah.
it. That was like the first big book that I had ever done. And I
Yeah.
was so happy, and it was so good. And yeah, I really loved it.
You loved that one. And then there's a few other ones that go with that one too, aren't there? Like The Little Princess?
Yes, The Little Princess I really liked. I can't remember. Yeah, The Little Princess and Secret Garden were my like top 2 favorite good books.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would say you've liked books that are about using your imagination.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. And so as you've gotten older, you've found that you really like fantasy.
Yes, fantasy.
It's kind of your top genre. So what are some of your favorite books that you're reading now or that you have read in the last year or two?
Well, My favorite books of all time are Harry Potter, of course.
Yeah.
Those are like the top.
And how many times have you read or listened to those?
I've lost count. I lost count at 30 times. And that was like a
30?
year ago.
30
Each of reread
Each?
of the whole thing.
of the.
So
You've gone through all 7 books 30 times?
yes, at least. That was all I was listening to for at least a year.
Wow. That is really hard for me to believe. I believe you, but that is a lot.
Yeah, it is. I know the books like the back of my hand. I can lip sync them almost.
Yeah. You probably have them memorized.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Okay. Wow. All right. So besides Harry Potter, what
And
else are you
then,
into?
right up there,
Yep.
just a little bit lower, is A Wrinkle in Time.
Yep.
And The Wrinkle in Time is my favorite, and the other books in the series are okay, but the first one is really good.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Love that. Okay.
And then also A Wingfeather Saga.
Okay. So for those who haven't heard of A Wingfeather Saga, what do you like about those?
Well, there are 4 books.
Mm-hmm.
And they are like fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
It's about these people who live in a place, I don't know, and they just have a bunch of adventures and things happen, and you have to learn what everything is because it's a whole different word, and there's something called potatoes. They're a mix of tomato and potato.
Okay.
And you have to figure out what those are, and fangs and stuff like that. And they have a bunch of cool creatures that aren't true, and you have to imagine what they are. And yeah, and there's a lot of finding out what things happen and a lot of mysteries that all get revealed at the end.
Yeah, you like that mystery component.
Yes, I do. That's why I like the Boxcar Children books.
Right.
They were easy mysteries.
Yeah. And another group of books that I remember you loving is Jonathan Auxier's Peter Nimble.
Yes, I wait for every single time when there's a new book coming out. When is it gonna come out? When's it come out?
And so he had Peter Nimble
and His Fantastic Eyes. Then it was Night Gardener.
Okay, yeah.
That one was terrifying. It's a scary book. And I was kind of surprised by that because Peter Nimble is not at all like that.
Okay.
And then the sequel to Peter Nimble is
Sophie
Quire.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then there's another one coming out soon, isn't there?
And I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay. And then what other kind of books are you into?
Recently I read the Divergent series.
Okay.
And that was really good. Really good.
Yep.
Though I would not recommend it to anybody younger, even my siblings, because it's very, yeah. And
is it inappropriate?
No.
Okay.
Well, there's swearing in it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. There's swearing in it.
And there's a lot of death.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, yeah.
I did not know that. I am no longer, I don't think I ever pre-read your books, but.
Well, Hattie read it. So I
yeah.
trust Hattie because her mom is very,
Yeah.
And I also really like The 100 Cupboards and The Eighth Day.
Okay.
Both of those are series, sort of. There's 300 Cupboard books and 2 Eighth Day books. Both of those books I really liked. Some parts got a little boring, but then they'd pick right back up again.
Okay.
So they're definitely not at the top, but they're close.
Yeah. Okay.
And
awesome.
For graphic novels, because I've been getting into those.
Yeah. Yes.
I like the Babysitter Club books, graphic novels.
Yeah.
There's 4 of them. They're by Raina Talgemeier, I think.
Yep. Raina Talgemeier.
Yes. I don't know how to pronounce her name.
That's okay.
She also did Smile, Sisters, Ghosts, and Drama.
Right.
And I really like those books. I've read them a few times. Not as much as Harry Potter, but I have read them over. And you recently got some new graphic novels.
Yep.
Invisible Emme is one of them. A Wrinkle in Time graphic novel is one of them. And Sunny Side Up is one of them. Yeah. I can't remember the other one, but there's another book that goes with that.
Yep.
Somewhere in here. But yeah.
That's okay. So what do you like about graphic novels?
They're easy. I sometimes like books that are easy because I can just not have to think about it.
So Georgia, you listen to a lot of audiobooks.
Yes.
And we talk a lot about those books sometimes here on the podcast. But if you could just highlight a few of your top favorites, we'd love that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Harry Potter, of course.
Yep. Obviously.
And Mr. Lemoncello's Library, which is a series. The person who does the voices, I don't know his name, but he's really good at it. And right now I'm listening to The War That Saved My Life.
Oh, yeah.
And that's really good. And I don't know if it's the audio that's specifically good, but just the book is really good. So, yeah. And then I also like Mary Poppins. I was listening to those for a while.
Because that's also a series.
Yes, that is also a series. A lot of people do not know that it's a series and there are other books, but there are. And then I also really liked Echo. It's that was one of my audiobooks that I had to listen to for our monthly listen. And that one was really cool because it's about a harmonica, and that's what kind of got me into I'm teaching myself how to play the harmonica. Yeah. So that's kind of what got me into it, because they have like a lot of songs that are like played by the harmonica on there. Yeah. And it just sounds really cool. And it's about like 3 or 4 different stories, I think, and they all come together at the end, and it's so awesome. I love it.
Yeah. I didn't know that's what inspired you to start the harmonica.
Yeah, it kind of was, because there was just a lot of harmonicas playing throughout the whole book, and like songs that I knew, and they just did a really good job at it. Right.
Yeah. That author is Pam Munoz Ryan.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
she
sounds
wrote
familiar.
Esperanza Rising.
Yes, and that's why you said to listen to Echo.
Yeah.
Because we liked Esperanza Rising.
Right. Okay, Georgia, one other thing that you're really into as you've gotten older is podcasts.
Yes. Not this one, but yes.
Just being honest.
Well, you're my mom, you know.
I know. You don't need to hear me talking more than you already do. You need an escape. So, what podcasts are your favorite?
Well, I really like, my 2 favorites are Swish and Flick and Alohomora, which are both Harry Potter podcasts, of course. And Swish and Flick is 4 girls. They're in their 20s, I think. And they just go through the whole series, and they just chapter by chapter, and they read through it, and they just find a lot of things that I did not notice before. Most of them I did. Yeah. But some of them I don't know. And they have cool information about like other like Harry Potter things that are going on. Like they have what they call the weekly prophet instead of the daily prophet. Okay. And they just tell you things that are going on right now, like the new Fantastic Beasts trailer came out or something like that. Right. Yeah. And Alohomora also does the same thing. For some reason, I couldn't get to all their podcast episodes. They're on like old ones. Yeah, they're old ones. So I had to start like at the end of the 7th book. But now they're doing topic. I don't know what they're called. They just
topical episodes.
Yeah, basically where they like someone says, "I want you to talk about Hermione." And then they have a whole episode about Hermione and just like I don't know, just they have a bunch of different of those, and that's what I'm listening to because I like them.
Yeah, and so would you say those are appropriate for kids who are Harry Potter fans?
Yes, they are. Alohomora definitely is, and Swish and Flick is. They just, whenever one of them swears, they just have a boing. It's like one of those spring sounds. Okay. But like earlier in the podcast, they didn't cover up the swearing, but now they have.
Okay,
so,
Good to know.
Yeah.
And what else do you listen to?
I listened to How I Built This. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. It's not as good as Wish and Flick It All Homora, but it's just interesting to see how people created things.
Yeah, it's
And
businesses
yeah.
that people create. That's an NPR podcast
Yes.
that most adults like, but you love it too.
Yeah, definitely. And then I also listened to The Alien Adventures of Finn Caspian, which is definitely appropriate for all ages of people.
Yep.
And it's like a story about this kid who's in a space station sort of thing, and they just go on a bunch of adventures. And now they started doing this thing, which is the main reason that I like it, where they have riddles, and almost every week, and you have to try to figure out the riddles, and then they take kids' answers for the riddles, and they put them in there.
Oh, okay.
So that's mainly the reason why I like it, because...
Yeah, because you like riddles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. All right, Georgia, I would love it if you could give our listeners some recommendations for things that you like to play. And I know play can sometimes sound like a little kid word, and we don't mean that because even adults can play.
Yeah.
So what kinds of things are you interested in playing that's like for older kids?
Well, I really like Little Bits.
Okay.
They're really fun. They're kind of like, if you ever have heard of snap circuits, they're kind of like that, but they're like magnet, and they're little circuits that have different things that they do, and you snap them together. And I got one where I made R2-D2 from Star Wars, and it could like move around and everything.
Yeah.
And I made another remote control thing with a remote control. Like, I made the remote to control it.
Oh, yeah.
And you can make like fans, and there's a bunch of different cool things that you can make. And for my birthday, I got one called the Cloud Bit thing, and it's basically where you can control anything in your house. It's like making your house smart.
Yeah.
And I haven't quite played around with that one yet, but I'm excited for that. And then I also really like Color by Sticker. It's like, it's kind of, or Paint by Sticker, I think it's actually called. And it's like little stickers that have, it's like, it has little stickers, and it's like, there's numbers, and you connect the number that is on the sticker to the number in the picture. And then you can create a picture, and I have them a lot on my wall. And they're just really fun to do because they look really cool, and they're just something I'd like to do when I'm listening to audiobooks or podcasts.
Yeah. And that's kind of like color by number.
Yeah.
But it's
stickers.
Using stickers, and it creates like
some of them
art piece.
Yeah, some of like one of them we got are just animals, and then one of them is like famous art. Like one of them is the Mona Lisa, and one of them is I don't know what it's called, but like the one of the big wave that's like curling over with the boats underneath it.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then also I like to do adult coloring books. Those are
like
really
when you're
fun.
Especially when you're listening to something.
Yes, because it's just fun to do.
Yeah, right.
And also recently I made up a spin art machine with snap circuits.
Oh yeah.
I figured out that if you take the fan and snap circuits, I taped a plate on top of it, and then we took watercolors and we like dripped it on there, and it made a really cool design thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and one that also I like to do is iMovies. I really like to make commercials.
Yeah, some of you may have seen that if you followed our Instagram account for a while. Georgia, I put a few videos on there that Georgia has done.
Yeah.
And you basically, well, it started off when you were kind of like spoofing.
Yeah.
You were kind of making fun of some commercials.
Yeah.
And then you started doing some real ones.
Yeah, we did the vacuum one where we were making fun of it, and then people asked us to do their commercial. Like, someone, like for Spy Cloth, if you saw that one. Yeah. Someone asked us to do that, and we did that, and that's really fun.
Yeah.
It's mostly me and my brother doing it. Lucas sometimes does it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of into editing
Yes.
videos.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of want to edit this podcast. That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
I want to learn how, but
Right. Yeah. And you can learn how if you'd like to.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but if you want to try and figure it out, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we should move on to loving this week.
Awesome.
What do you think about that?
That sounds good.
All right. Georgia, what are you loving this week?
Well, for my birthday, we went to see A Wrinkle in Time, the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And that was amazing. It was so good. The acting was really good, and everything how it laid out was really good. That was definitely a highlight of this week. That was really fun.
Yeah, you have been waiting for that movie since you heard about it.
Which was a year ago.
Yep. And then it opened like the week before your birthday, so
I was
that's
like,
what we decided to do.
perfect.
I know. So we all went on the night of your birthday.
Yeah, it was so good.
Would you say it lived up to your expectations?
For the most part, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was a few changes.
There were definitely a few changes.
Yeah. But you can't, I mean, you really, it's hard to make a movie align exactly with the book.
Exactly.
Yeah. And who were some of your favorite characters in the movie?
I don't know. I really like the 3 main kids. They were all really good actors.
Yeah. For sure.
And the W's, or as they're called in the movies, the Misses.
Yep.
Miss What's It, Miss Witch, and Miss Who. They were all really good.
Yep.
Oprah was Miss Witch, and she was really good at it.
Yep.
Yeah.
One thing I really liked about it was the scenery.
Yes, that was amazing.
Yeah. I think it was filmed in New Zealand. I haven't looked that up, but I thought.
Well, I'm pretty sure because one of the actors is Australian. Calvin is.
Oh, he is?
Yeah. It says he's an Australian actor.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
So, what are you loving this week, Mom?
Well, I am also loving a movie.
Yes.
Your dad and I had a little in-home date.
Awesome.
I think it was, I don't know, a few nights ago. I can't remember, but it's so nice now that you're older because we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So we went out to eat, and then we came home and we went in the bedroom and shut the door.
Yeah.
And you guys can just like do your own thing, and then
not fight.
Not fight, hopefully. And you're such a good older sister, like I said. I'm
very responsible.
Yeah, you're very responsible. And you guys played games, and I think you read a book to your siblings, and yep. And then when it's time for bed, you let us know and we come out and put you to bed.
Yeah.
So anyways, while we were in there, we watched a movie because there's so many movies now after watching the Oscars that I want to see.
Yes.
And so one of them was The Florida Project. That's what we watched, and I loved it. It's about the main character is a 6-year-old girl and her friends, and they live in a rundown motel near Disney World.
Oh, cool.
Yep. But it's kind of sad because, well, it's good. It's heartwarming and sad.
Yeah.
Because, they live in a hotel.
Yeah.
And her mom doesn't have a great attitude.
Yeah.
But loves her daughter very much.
Yeah.
And her daughter is very free to do whatever she wants. Yeah. And so she makes some friends in the hotel. And it's kind of about their life.
Yeah. Was the actor good?
The 6-year-old was so good. She was such a good actress.
Well, how old did you think she was in real life?
Well, I just looked it up because I was so curious.
Yeah.
It said she was born in 2010, and the movie came out in 2017.
Really?
So she was probably 6 or 7 when
wow.
we were filming, and she looked like it. I mean, and she was very good.
Wow. I just can't imagine a 6-year-old or a 7-year-old being.
I know, because you like acting.
Yeah, and it's hard. I have a hard time with it.
Yeah. Yeah, but how fun would that be to be on a movie set?
I don't want. That's like my dream.
Is it?
Yes.
well, maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
Yeah. So one of the actors in it was Willem Dafoe, and he was up for Best Supporting Actor. I don't think he won, but he was up for it, which is how I heard about the movie. Was the movie nominated for Best Picture too? It may have been. I cannot remember. I should have looked that up.
Don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, because I don't remember. I remember hearing about the Florida Project, but I don't remember hearing about a lot.
Okay. Well, it's definitely rated R, and so maybe in a few years you can watch it.
Yeah.
But not right now. It was probably inappropriate for kids.
Yes.
So, well, thank you, Georgia, for being on today.
Yeah, it was so fun.
I know. It was great. You're kind of natural at this.
Well, it's probably because I like to act and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're kind of good at performing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've always, ever since you were little, you've put on performances for us.
Yes, I have.
You kind of like to be in the spotlight.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate it, and I think people will love getting to know you, and they will see why I love you so much, because you're just so special, and you have so many unique gifts, and I'm so happy that you're my daughter. So thank you for being on.
Yeah, thanks.
And you can find us. So we're going to put links to everything Georgia recommended in our show notes or on our website, which is Homeschool Unrefined. So you can find that there. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Homeschool Unrefined. We have a Facebook group, closed Facebook group called Unrefined Homeschoolers. We'd love to have you join us over there, and we can have some great conversations. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Homeschool Unrefined was created by Maren Gorse and Angela Sizer. Thanks to Gambler's Daughter for providing the music for our show. You can find Gambler's Daughter at facebook.com/gamblersdaugghtermusic.